I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed. I am so grateful.
Hold on. I'll be right back.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Unity of Windsor. My name is Nicholas, and I will be your host, along with our very own Reverend David.
It's so good to see all of you here. Welcome, welcome, welcome. The Unity movement embraces the inherent worth and diversity of every individual, fostering an environment of acceptance and respect for all people without distinction of any kind. We come together to encourage and support one another in our individual spiritual journeys. And wherever you are in that process, we are glad that you joined us today.
And while it is a well-traveled land, we would like to respectfully acknowledge that the land on which we gather today is the traditional territory of the three fires of confederacy of the First Nations comprised of the Ojibwe, Odawa, and the Potawatomi peoples. We are grateful to work, learn, and live in this area. And I'd like to introduce our musician today as our very own Angelica. So good to have you with us.
Thanks so much, Nicholas. Good morning, everyone. Thank you.
And I'm delighted to have Nicholas up here being the host today. And also, I'm delighted to have our licensed Unity teacher, Mariette Jones, over here. She's going to be our guest speaker, so delighted to have her today. Thank you, Mariette.
And I'd like to take a moment to open with our prayer. Oh, Heavenly Spirit, I am grateful for the greatest gift that I have received, the gift of life. For without it, I would not be able to enjoy the sunrises I see in the morning, the feeling of a newborn baby in my arms, the look of love from my other. For this, I am so grateful, and I look forward to more enjoyable moments. This I give thanks, and so it is. Amen.
Amen. I do want to remind everyone that we do have our prayer chaplain available today. Every Sunday, we do have a prayer chaplain that is available after service in our prayer room upstairs. And today's prayer chaplain is Tim. Tim's right over there. And Tim, thank you for the service of prayer that you provide. Thank you so much.
And we have a prayer box right off the side over here. Please place your prayer request in the prayer box, and our prayer chaplain team will host these requests in prayer with you. And I'd like to remind the people online that we have an online 24/7 prayer support with Silent Unity, and the phone number is 1-800-NOW-PRAY.
Well, now is the time for our first song for the morning. And Angelica, what do we have today?
Yay, good morning, everyone. If you're willing and able, please stand and join us. Our first song is God Is. Where it will be. That would help. There we go. God's love enfolds me. God's power protects me. The presence of God watches over me. Wherever I am, God is. And all is well. Thanks, everyone, for joining me on that journey. Our next song is Go Make a Difference. Here we go. Go make a difference. We can make a difference. Go make a difference in the world. Go make a difference. We can make a difference. Go make a difference in the world. We are the salt of the earth, called to let the people see the love of God in you and me. We are the light of the world, not to be hidden but to be seen. Go make a difference in the world. Go make a difference. We can make a difference. Go make a difference in the world. Go make a difference. We can make a difference. Go make a difference in the world. We are the hands of God reaching out to those we need. The face of God for all to see. We are the spirit of hope. We are the voice of peace. Go make a difference in the world. Go make a difference. We can make a difference. Go make a difference in the world. Go make a difference. We can make a difference. Go make a difference in the world. So let your love shine on, let it shine for all to see. Go make a difference in the world. And the Spirit of God will be with us as we go. Go make a difference in the world. Go make a difference. We can make a difference. Go make a difference in the world. Go make a difference. We can make a difference. Go make a difference in the world. Go make a difference. We can make a difference. Go make a difference in the world. Go make a difference. We can make a difference. Go make a difference in the world. Go make a difference in the world. Go make a difference in the world. Thanks, everyone. You may be seated.
Another two good songs.
Thank you.
Nice beat.
Thank you very much.
Unity Spiritual Center of Windsor is a progressive spiritual community that emphasizes personal growth, living consciously, and making a positive difference in the world. As part of a New Thought and the worldwide unity movement, we strive to be compassionate, inclusive, open-minded, service-oriented, abundant, and spirit-filled.
Unity teaches that each person is a unique individual expression of God. Our realization of that truth evolves as we expand our consciousness through prayer and meditation. Unity emphasizes that we create our experiences of life according to the thoughts and feelings we hold in mind. Affirmative prayer is the highest form of creative thought, while meditation stills the mind and heightens our awareness of our oneness with Spirit, our oneness with each other and all of life. Living from that awareness transforms our lives and the world. Our affirmation for September is, I am a responsible, trustworthy, free agent of spirit. Will you affirm that with me? I am a responsible, trustworthy, free agent of spirit.
And now we have some special music by Angelica.
Thank you. I've heard it said the earth looks peaceful when it's seen from outer space. Such a pretty place for you and me. We're the wisdom of the crickets in the night, singing out of sight from way out here, where there's only right or wrong. Why can't we just try to get along? I've heard it said there's 100 billion galaxies of light lighting up the night for you and me. Could be just as peaceful as the stars from outer space, living in a place of harmony. Oh, such a lovely sound. Why do we put one another down? Just consider that there is no wrong or right, and consider that there is no black or white. There are always shades of gray to help us find our way to the light. Every culture has its history in stone, dances of their own they like to do, wouldn't you? Like to be accepted just the way you are. Is it really that hard to see? Couldn't we find a way to understand and blow away that line in the sand? Just consider that there is no wrong or right, and consider that there is no black or white. There are always shades of gray to help us find our way to the light, to the light. There are always shades of gray to help us find our way to the light, to the light. I've heard it said, to the light. I've heard it said, the earth looks peaceful when it's seen from outer space. Such a pretty place for you and me. Thank you.
As always, we are so grateful. Excellent song for the sermon as well. Blow away that line in the sand. I particularly liked that line. Let's blow away that line in the sand that we've created, boundaries between all the different realities in this universe. So I want to welcome our online audience, a very special welcome. It's difficult, to sometimes when you're at home, to feel connected. So I like to, Leo actually has that camera focused on the group as a whole. So let's say, hey, thanks for popping in. We appreciate you. So with a show of hands, who has yearned for a deeper connection with nature than you have right now? Anybody here? Oh, yeah, okay. For those of you online, you can put your response in the chat. Have you yearned for a deeper connection with nature than you have right now? So even if you already have a very intimate relationship with the divine found in nature and all the universe, there still can be so much static getting in the way with our spiritual connection. Living in the city, so much pavement, so much has been tarred over, so much green, so much has been damaged. Our busy lives we lead, our prescribed societal responsibilities that we are born into, that we feel compelled to give utmost priority. And productivity, what about that? Isn't it important to be producing all the time? Shouldn't you be doing something when you stop and rest? Days and weeks can go by before we've enjoyed a drink from the deep well of nature, which is one and the same as our nature, our human nature. You are nature. We are an integral part of all that is, whether we are aware of that or not. So can I have the next slide? Always and everywhere, it is the universe that holds all things together and is the primary activating power in every activity. And there's our planet Earth right there, right in the center. That's us. Leo, can you go to the next slide? So I was on a beautiful and educational retreat this past July with the theme, Were I to Say How Much I Love the Earth, with Gail Warcello, who is a Passionist nun, mentored by Thomas Berry, who is also a Passionist priest. And I never heard about the Passionist order until I met Gail. So let me tell you about Thomas Berry, and go ahead to the next slide. Thomas Berry was born in 1914 and made his transition in 2009. Thomas Berry grew up in a large family in the American South where Catholics were a tiny minority. His father worked on the railways, which is how the family came to be living amidst an overwhelming Protestant majority in Greensboro, North Carolina. He learned how to successfully live as an outsider. He told Paul Collins, an interviewer at one point, that from early childhood he was profoundly attached to the natural world, with a clear sense of his oneness with the world around him. Thomas Berry would later summarize his regard of the natural world in this way: we lose our souls if we lose the experience of the forest, the butterflies, the song of the birds, if we can't see the stars at night. Berry trained as a cultural historian. That's somebody who looks at cultures in the past and how everything came, why we think the way we think, how everything came to be, how the different cultures influence who we are today and what needs to be changed, what thought systems need to be changed. His interests and expertise were diverse. While he was in the seminary, he taught himself Sanskrit. He was attracted to China and Confucianism in particular, but also to other Eastern religions and philosophies. And he studied and wrote assiduously. As you know, some of you may know, he has authored many books, and he taught many classes. Barry was also an expert on Native American religion. His academic career is well documented. Teaching at a number of smaller Catholic universities in the greater New York area and ending up at Fordham, the Jesuit university in the Bronx. It was there that he began to form some really key relationships with students and people who would subsequently promote his teachings, including Brian Swaim and Mary Evelyn Tucker. As I said, he's the author of many important books which give us his ideas and his insights about what we need to do to change our thinking and the way we live on this planet Earth, and how to save ourselves and the planet, and all that share the planet with us. His teachings, ideas, and thoughts are revolutionary and very cutting edge. And I believe they hold the key to understanding how to find our way back home, to a sense of belonging, to really soothe the longing that we have for that belonging with all that is. Planet Earth Mother and beyond, with the universal creative force that brought all that is into being. Next slide, please, Leo. This is a quote by Thomas Berry. The universe is a communion of subjects, not a collection of objects. What do you think he meant? The universe is a communion of subjects, not a collection of objects. Anybody have any ideas? What does that mean? Lori?
Everything is connected to serve the others.
Everything is connected to serve the others. That communion, that word communion, right? Excellent. Pardon me? Communion, community. Communicate. Thank you, Mike. Alma? If we were just objects, what did you say? If we were just objects, it wouldn't be possible, the connection, Alma says. Whereas when we're subjects, we're beings. Rena, did you want to say something?
For there to be a subject, there has to be a person thinking that is the subject.
A conscious person thinking. And yet, this society has inadvertently, perhaps, with the Industrial Revolution and so much more, cultivated a culture of objectivity. Think of science. There is no communion. It's no, the observer must keep separate from the object for accurate, science to happen. There's always this sense of separation. In the book, Braiding Sweetgrass, have you heard Braiding Sweetgrass by author Robin Wall Kimmerer? Talks about her own journey of following her desire to become a botanist. She's an indigenous person. So she went to university. She went to apply to talk to the interviewer. That was her dream, either to be a poet or to be a botanist. They told her she couldn't be both, so she chose botanist. And when she was with her interviewer at the university in New York, the interviewer said, "Why do you want to become a botanist?" And she had thought about this and prepared for this question for weeks and was very excited, to start her new career at the university. And she was like, "I didn't know what to say exactly, but I decided to tell the truth." The truth was she wanted to know why the flowers, the purple aster and the yellow goldenrod, look so beautiful together. Well, he said, "That's not science." It was only after fully educating herself in the mainstream educational system and connecting back to her own indigenous wisdom, which is a science of its own, she realized her question was a very scientific question. As it turns out, both the human eye and the eye of the bee are attracted to the combination of yellow and purple. Any artist will tell you these are complementary colors. The flowers benefit by growing together, aster and goldenrod, because they attract more pollinators this way. The bee's eye goes to the yellow and purple combination. And this is a win-win situation, we know. Oneness in action, collaboration in action. So that is what we humans are being invited to emulate. Watch the bees go to the meadow. Find one. There's one on, I'll talk to me. I know where there's a meadow. There's goldenrod, there's asters, and there's bees. Watch them and learn experientially how it is that you are to live your life. Robin Walls Kimmerer also tells the story of a botanist deep in the Amazon rainforest with an indigenous guide, and the botanist was very impressed with the indigenous guide, the person, they knew all the names of the plants. He goes, "Well, young man, you know a lot of the names of these plants." He goes, "Yes, I've learned the names of the plants. I have yet to learn their song." I love that. How many folks here have, with a show of hands, hugged a tree? Yeah, that's nice. Talk to your plants? Yeah. Meditating with a rock? How about insects? We get a little squeamish about insects. We love oneness, but when it comes to mosquitoes, yeah? Insects? You talk to your what? Your bees? Nice.
They don't think of them as singing, they just random, how are you today? Flowers are over there or something like that.
Can I have the next slide, please? So what you've been participating in is something called interspecies communication. Interspecies communication is something that Thomas Berry practiced and talked about. This is the way to begin, to break the ice, to blow away that line in the sand, and dissolve the sense of separation that we have with the natural world. Next slide, please. So yeah, while Gail and I and the others were on retreat, she befriended this particular snail she named Swirl. She visited with this beautiful being and communicated with intuitional energy. I myself had a love affair with spiders and their webs, in particular one little green spider, and we enjoyed a spiritual connection. And I received such a download of wisdom. Did you know that you could do this? Interact this way, receive wisdom from the smallest creatures. All that is everywhere. One presence, one power. True stories, not just a fable. We tell ourselves it's a true story. So Gail is a pioneer along with other committed nuns who have formed an order named Sisters of the Earth. This is one of the first of its kind, and they are always thinking, speaking, and acting on behalf of the natural environment. They practice oneness with nature in many ways, and one of the ways is to sharpen their interspecies communication. So on the next slide, P. Horsley, animal communication coach, says, I've always been an animal lover, yet I didn't start consciously communicating with animals until 2004. It's never too late to start. Now, of course, my perspective is different, and it baffles me why everyone isn't communicating with animals and living their life in deep connection with other species. Next slide, please. So Thomas Berry says, we are only talking to ourselves. We are not talking to the rivers, listening to the wind and stars. We have broken the great conversation. By breaking that conversation, we have shattered the universe. All of the disasters that are happening now are a consequence of that spiritual autism. Isn't that an interesting word he uses? Okay, next slide, please. And we're going to listen to a short video now. Thank you, Leo.
We're going to count it down.
3, 2, 1, go.
If one really gets into the perspective of a different species, to imagine what it might be like to be that species in their environment with their priorities, with their dominant sense, and with their ways of going about things. I can literally know from the animal's perspective what their motivations are. And for any behavior, there's always a reason that's driving that behavior. And then beyond even the species perspective, we also need to be able to get into the perspective of the individual. Much like humans, different individuals have different personalities, different needs and wants. Then to set about an empathic understanding, it's not inappropriate to start that with an imagined activity. What might it be like to be that goldfish in that bowl in the doctor's waiting room? And it helps a lot to first imagine their physical reality. Place yourself as if you were on the inside of the bowl looking out and seeing all the surrounding furniture from that perspective. And imagine what it's like to be wearing that skin and scales, that body covering. Once we begin to imagine what it might be like to be inhabiting the 5 sensory world of that creature, we are laying a very good foundation for us to be able to perceive that individual beings particularly experience and thoughts and feelings about things. When one drops into the relational field that's already there, perception and information just sort of arises and maybe seeps into our awareness more because we are quiet for once and we are focused. Whatever is reverberating through the field becomes available for perceiving and is being done so on the unconscious level. Our instinct isn't something that we have to switch on, nor is it entirely individual. Our instinct is contextual. And perhaps the art of asking a certain question to sort of pull up whatever just really is important to that other being, like they're in pain or they've got a need, is what's going to be quite loud on that energetic landscape, speaking from a quantum physics point of view. And so that will automatically come to my attention. But what's happening is that those emissions of what is, thoughts, feelings, circumstance, state of dehydration of a tree, injured left wing of a bird, these are just being broadcast into the space, as are our thoughts and feelings, by the way. And until those incoming bits of data filter through my mental database of vocabulary, life experiences, emotions, images, and find a match, I won't know about it. If I'm connecting with a young elephant who's perhaps been found wandering around and separated from the herd, and I'm feeling their separation anxiety, what might come first to my mind is my own personal memory of first day at school when I was 5 years old, because I was experiencing separation anxiety then. And that's because the energy is a match. So if several people standing in front of the same animal might translate the incoming messages differently within themselves, and nobody will be wrong. I might get a memory of my first day at school. The next person might, in a very dry, technical way, just see the words separation anxiety in their mind's eye. Somebody else might just get the raw emotion. We are suffering from a great separation sickness ourselves. And in our days of rush, we're kind of crushing our spirits. We have short attention spans. We demand immediate gratification. We're permanently distracted. We're not even long with our own pets in the evenings. We might be there as a hollow skin bag, but we're on devices or watching something, distracted in our minds, and the animals just sit there looking at us like, hello, lights are on, but no one's home. If we again allowed ourselves to have the feeling of belonging, and to surrender into that so deeply, our very actions, our very choices would be prompted by our surroundings. We would never dream of buying a toxic detergent to use in our worldly homes because we would care about the spiders further down in the drainage outside or the ants getting poisoned. We would deeply care. And we would delight in how much that little stalk of moss had grown overnight. We would delight without needing to make concepts, and certainly without any strange view of there being relative value and relative importance or relative intelligence. I wish I hadn't spent quite so much time on trying to understand it, because truly experience is the only real teacher. And it's just so beautiful to be so directly related to these other beings. Gosh, all those hours I spent ferreted away, nose in books. I could have been just chatting with a butterfly or lying on a blade of grass and having a conversation.
Thank you, Leo and Angelica. Nice work there, teamwork. I really appreciate how Anna says, I wished I hadn't spent so much time learning in books. Gosh, I could have just been communicating with a butterfly. So she simplifies it to experiential learning. Just spending time with that moss that's grown an inch overnight and enjoying the little flowers coming up, touching it, using our 5 senses, and then connecting with the senses of that being. Next slide, please. Oh, sorry, you were on the right slide. You went to. So yeah, Thomas Berry, be willing to recognize the numinous quality of every earthly reality. Berry loves this word numinous and uses it to describe every living being, from rocks to stars to creatures of every sort, and of course us humans. The dictionary defines the word numinous as being derived from the word numen. Numen is a divine power or spirit, a deity, especially one presiding locally or believed to inhabit a particular object. So, let us drop the error belief in the collective consciousness of which we are a part, that there is some kind of hierarchical order to the universe with some beings lesser and some superior. This is clearly egoic thought, and it's only gotten us into trouble century after century. And now let us try on for size. In a revolutionary, radical way, the new thought that we are a network of beings available, open to communication and connection. We truly need each other. I invite you to take that need, your own need, and the other's need to heart. Really seriously change your thinking. Change your ways. The mission, and let us go to the next slide, of all present and future generations is to establish more profound ways of mutual presence and for intersubjective communion with all of reality. And that's what he was all about. So a necessary first step to practice mutual presence with other beings is to quiet the mind. We can pick up their thoughts and feelings and messages more successfully when our channel is clear. And so let us consider these ideas that we've been looking at today and go into meditation, into our inner sanctum of silence.
Our thoughts are prayers, and we are always praying. Our thoughts are prayers. Be careful what you're saying. Seek a higher consciousness, a state of peacefulness, and know that God is always there. And every thought becomes a prayer.
And let us take all these ideas and thoughts and prayers into the silence. You may begin now. And feeling our gratitude for the realization we may have experienced in meditation. Fully connecting with our own body, wiggling our toes, and thanking our feet for the connection with the earth. Our feet are wonderful, always connecting us to the earth. Feeling gratitude for every part of our body. And just putting your attention on your heart chakra. Just on every part of your body, your energetic body. Love. The feeling of love. You are immersed in love. Isn't it beautiful? And so you are, love, and so we are, and so all is. Amen. It is true.
A lovely talk. Thank you so much. Really, thank you. You know, it's interesting. I mean, there was some real. I love the slides, also, by the way. But Dave and my partner Dave and I have been sitting out in the garden on the patio, and we noticed so many bees this year. And we had planted some black-eyed Susans, which are yellow, and then we have all these coneflowers that were all planted together. And so I learned something new. Thank you.
That was a wonderful talk indeed. You know, during the COVID, I spent a lot of time sitting out in my backyard just with nature. And all those hours and days that I spent there, I learned more than anything I could have learned out of a book.
Yeah. That was a perfect choice of music, by the way. Thank you so much. Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Just been doing a really good job.
Thank you. Thanks, everyone. I really appreciate that. Thank you.
And also, Leo, again, thank you.
Yeah, go Leo. Woo-hoo.
We need our techie because I'm not one. So, at this time, let us take to heart our vision, mission, and statement of being, which is shown on the screen.
We have a global vision. Will you please speak it with me? Our vision is a world powerfully transformed through the growing movement of shared spiritual awakening.
And we have a sacred mission. Will you say that with me? We inspire and empower spiritual growth to awaken us and transform the world.
And finally, we have a personal statement of being. Will you please say that with me? I am a dynamic center of the Christ light, mighty to unfold my good and radiate that good to all.
Again, we're just so glad to have all of you here, and we have quite a few visitors, so we do hope that you will join us upstairs for fellowship afterwards. This is our birthday Sunday, so we have a birthday cake, and we'll be acknowledging all the ones with birthdays in the month of September. So please do join us up there for refreshments.
Also, there will be an informal congressional meeting today at 11:45, and all are welcome to attend.
And also at, not doing that one, that's the wrong one there. Okay, you have to take the other one.
Oh, okay. Well, I should have said Congregational, not congressional.
Oh,
We're not
congregation. I
politicians.
did that before. I said, I actually
You
did
see?
that.
I knew I was going to make one plug.
You get one.
Got to make one plug.
Great job.
USCW is delighted to announce the imminent launch of the 12-week online book study course, October 3rd through December 19th, 7 to 9 p.m. On Zoom, using a small breakout room format, this hands-on course will engage you in doing inner work designed to heal your inner critic. Week by week, the course will take a new chapter in Christian Neff's experimental workbook on self-compassion. If you're interested, you'll need to pre-register on the Facebook events link. See the newsletter for the link.
Yes, the information is in the newsletter. It's also, and you don't have to be, it will give you a link to Facebook and to the Facebook site, so you don't have to be a member of Facebook, but the link will take you to the group. And anyway, Dr. Ken Hart and Sean Sharkey are going to be doing this, and they do these every year, and I think they did 2 or 3 last year. So anyway, they're great classes, and I think you will find them very beneficial. But we're also excited to, this is giving you some advance notice. We're going to be doing our first annual Fall Wellness Fair. And it's going to be happening on Sunday, November the 12th. So instead of our regular Sunday service, it's going to be an all-day affair starting at 10 o'clock, going on until 4. We're going to be bringing together like-minded people that are passionate about holistic wellness and spiritual growth. And so I want you to just save that date, because it is going to be, this is our first one to do, and we will be having vendors and musicians, and there'll be guest speakers throughout the day, vendors, and we will need volunteers. So think of some way that you can volunteer, but I just want you to put that on your calendar. Oh, and it's my turn again. Join thousands around the world in affirmative prayer. And this is the 30th annual Unity World Day of Prayer. And it's this September the 13th and 14th. There's actually the actual service online is on the 14th. That information is also, and the link is also in our newsletter. So this year's theme is Heart of Healing, and you will need to register for the free. This is a free thing, but you do have to register so that you can get the Zoom link. And Karen Drucker, for those of you who know Karen, a wonderful musician, she is going to be providing the music, and also Michael Gott, for those of you that know him. 2 wonderful musicians will be doing the music for the program, and it'll be just a wonderful time for prayer and contemplation and music. So put that on your calendar as well.
Next Sunday, September 17th, Reverend David will present a fresh look at our #1 unity principle, oneness as a practice.
Yes, and also next week, right after that, I will be doing a new member orientation class. And this is a 2-hour class with PowerPoint that will instruct people about the unity movement. It's a great class on understanding unity and where it came from. And that will be next Sunday as well after the service. And this is a required class for anyone that wants to be a member of Unity. It's just one of the few requirements that we have. And I'm glad to say we have 4, I think maybe 5 people that are taking the class already. So I'm very excited about that. But it's open to anyone. So, if you would like to just brush up on your Unity history, then please come next Sunday and attend that class as well.
David,
Yes.
if you're not sure about becoming a member, still come.
Oh, absolutely. Oh, no.
Come and learn
No, absolutely.
what you want to do.
Absolutely. It's open to anyone. Just learn about unity. And then also, I do want to remind you that today, Tim is our prayer chaplain, so he will be upstairs in the prayer room and be available for prayer.
All of our classes, programs, and services are made possible by your generous donations. Our heartfelt thanks for your continuous support. We've created many easy ways to donate, which you can find on our website.
And for those of you here, our offering box is right there at the entrance as you come from the foyer. And so you may drop off any of your love offerings or donations there. And again, you make this happen, and if it wasn't for you, we wouldn't be here. So thank you for your support in all the ways you support us, not just financially, but for all the wonderful volunteers that we have. I really, every one of you, I mean, all of you, we have a wonderful core of volunteers, and thank you so much from the bottom of my heart.
And please remember to print your full name on the offering envelope if you wish to receive a tax receipt. We invite you now to stand up and let's open our hearts and minds in gratitude as we close out by speaking out loud or silently to ourselves our love offering prayer, followed by the peace song and a prayer for protection.
Divine love in me and through me blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive.
Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be, with God as creator, family all are we. Let us walk with each other in perfect harmony. Let peace begin with me. Let this be the moment now. With every step I take, let this be my joyous vow, to take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me.
The light of God surrounds us.
I am light.
The love of God enfolds us.
I
am love.
And the power of God protects us.
I am power.
The presence of God watches over us.
I am present.
And wherever we are, God is.
I
am divine.
And my friends, you truly are. Thank you so much for being here, and please join us upstairs. Thank you. Good. Thank you.